This week on Lose A Tur, MattCast, we induct Chuck into our villainous Hall of Superhumans. Canada makes witchcraft and duels legal again. We can script AI to fight the good fight, trolling spammers. Here at MattCast, Matt has a dream, Matt has an agenda, and Matt clearly just wants to watch Chuck burn in a ball of Matt's blazing egotism. It's MattCast. Someone please help us.
Greetings and salutations. I'm your host, Matt Herring, and with us today, Jack Mullins. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
Doing all right. And longtime favorite, Jordan Straub. How's it going, man?
It's going.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
What, episode 8 is maybe the last time we saw you on this show?
Might be. Yeah. A while back.
So that people are aware, Jordan was actually at the inception of the original Lose A Tur and this current generation. He was there for the beginning of both, and there were just some scheduling problems that, he's got to make a living, and Chuck and I have to not be up till 4 a.m. editing, so unfortunately he hasn't been on in a while. But we did have a happy accident this week, and we were able to bring him back. Glad to have you, man.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. The new background, the house I own now, which means I signed my soul away.
That's super awesome. I'm really, really happy for you. You don't need the soul. It's not doing you anything. It's not feeding you at night. Not keeping you warm.
Yeah.
You don't sound too sure of that.
I couldn't hear you.
Oh, you don't sound too sure of that. Sorry. Might have a bit of a problem with my mic right now, or Skype's giving us some trouble, but I did want to talk about our villainous villain, Chuck.
Yeah.
This week, for those of you who... Let's have a quick recap. A while back, our fearless leader joined a space cult. Allegedly, it is a nation that's independent from all Earth-based nations called Asgardia. But we all know it's a space cult. So realistically, it is... it does have a constitution. Their members have approved the constitution. And earlier this week, I got a call from Chuck where he may have asked me to nominate him to be an elected official on Asgardia. I didn't think too much of it at the time, but I did give him the MattCast seal of approval and endorsement, and it looks like he may have succeeded in his usurpation. I just found out that a neighborhood in Dallas-Fort Worth was attacked by a meteorite yesterday. And who else could have done that other than Chuck, who is now ruling over Asgardia? So he is definitely in our superhuman hall of supervillains.
Chuck's just definitely trying to wipe off, Florida, Texas from the map.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait for Fort Worth Man Twitter to start.
Oh, God. I think we need to get on that. That definitely should be a Lose A Tur property.
It should actually be Chuck handling it and actually just saying things about him.
That'd be great.
So there is a speaking of unexpected bombardments of innocent locations. Another thing that happened yesterday, Hawaii. Those poor citizens received emergency notifications from official government sources saying, "Hey, ballistic missiles incoming. Take shelter. Hide." That's intense. That's scary.
Yeah. I was actually reading on this article a little bit, and the biggest thing that hit the media was people putting their kids in sewers over this alert.
They all float down here.
Were y'all able to watch that video of the kids in the sewers or being put in?
Yeah,
that is terrifying. That's like heart-wrenching.
It's absolutely insane. Then just to turn around and it takes 40 minutes for them to say, "Oh yeah, false alarm. My bad, guys."
It was a solid 38 minutes before they got a false alarm issuance. What the hell?
It's it's a false alarm. Pull our kids out of the gutter real quick. Like, fuck. No, it's absolutely nuts. And I want to know, like, so the FCC said it was an accident, like somebody trying to, punch on a shift change or something like that, and somehow set off this huge alarm.
I thought the time clock was the board that says y'all gonna die.
Well, so this message wouldn't have come from the FCC. They're the enforcement agency to investigate this or find someone as necessary. They're part of the executive branch, but that it really does beg that question. I shouldn't say beg that question, but how are these communication channels set up that someone can press a button and after it takes 40 minutes of people panicking in an area and telling people ballistic missile strikes are happening in your area? That's not an Amber Alert like, oh, let's go look for this kid in a city of 3 million. No, this is like missiles that are going to destroy buildings. We kind of need to take shelter, be aware of where they're coming down, and people are going to panic. That's not an everyday thing. And it's allowed to go on for 40 minutes, and no one's like, "Oh, well, oops, that shouldn't have happened. Let's issue, make this."
There had to have been a guy that's like, 40 minutes? These are the slowest fucking missiles ever.
If I get bored, sit back in their chair and like, I finished my flask of whiskey at this point. I was expecting to still have it when I died.
I just jerked off in the street 3 times thinking I was gonna die.
Well, let's take that to the next step. What do you do? Like, at what point do you stop looking?
Yeah, that's
3
true.
hours. 3 hours in, do you just say, okay, I think I'm ready to watch TV again, or
What do you, like,
I've
they
got
must
some
have
work
missed.
to get done?
Actually, that's not even a question because that question's already been answered. You wait 40 minutes.
Yeah, right.
But what if they hadn't caught the mistake? Because this is clearly something that the panic in the street didn't necessarily matter.
Right.
Otherwise, it would have been addressed within 5 minutes. It should have been addressed within 5 minutes.
Yeah, it really should
Absolutely.
have. Can I present a question to you guys? Because I have
Absolutely,
a
please.
man from the internet's answer, and it ends up being one of the saddest things from this. But if you thought you were about to die, or a really strong chance of dying because there are ballistic missiles coming to where you live, what would you do in your final moments? Because don't give me like the hug my loved ones and tell them I love them.
Oh man,
You'd hug your loved ones and tell them you loved them.
No, I would either fire up a video game as a dirty pleasure and just waste my last 40 minutes, or remember that one project that I've been meaning to do for the past 3 weeks and like, you know what, I'm gonna check that off my to-do list. I mean, that's the only way I could deal with that kind of anxiety and panic. It's one or the other.
To be honest, I mean, it's not a great answer. I'd probably sit down with my wife and chug literally as much whiskey as I can.
Well, I'd want to go out with a belly full of whiskey, so I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Well, a younger guy from Hawaii, I don't know, a younger guy, probably mid-20s to 30, I'd be guessing with the website this was found on, decided he would text the love of his life and admit his feelings for her. So he tells her how he's been feeling for all these years, and she replies back that she feels the same way and has for a long time.
They're married to other people, aren't they?
No. Both single.
Wait, this is a happy ending?
No.
On Lose A Tur.
Depressing.
It's because it's MattCast.
Yeah, so,
oh, no.
So
is this a Hitler and his...
Yeah, after the alert's done, he replies back, so, should we go out on a date sometime? She goes, I only said that because I wanted you to die happy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Everybody, hit F for respect.
All right. Just.
Oh my god, that's so fucking nuts, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Like, on some level, it's kind of... That must be slightly cathartic for him to finally have admitted it and gotten
Yeah.
a solid
It's
answer,
gone now,
and
right?
one that was humane.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't treat him like a pile of trash. It was, first it was like, hey, I'm being very humane. Then it was like, no, I am going to be honest with you. I'm
That's
not going
true.
to lead you home for 2 weeks and then break up with you or something stupid like that. So hopefully he can deal with it, and hopefully that was cathartic for him to finally let that off his chest. But
Hopefully.
damn, poor guy.
He might go shoot off some ballistic missiles out of rage now. Who knows?
What's his name? Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, right? Actually, it was probably the guy that accidentally hit the button. And he's like, this will make her say that she loves me.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's fucking great.
It's awful. So yeah, those kids down in that sewer, that was really upsetting to me. I'm not even sure if that would be effective. I guess it depends on the kind of bomb. If it were a nuclear strike and it didn't hit anywhere within the vicinity, then the concrete would probably protect you from the radiation. But if it was just full on ballistics and they're bombing everything, then the streets are going to be ripped up.
Yeah.
And you're going to have concrete collapsing. I don't know. You would be protected from shrapnel, but if it collapses on you, you're done.
Well, I think the idea there, or at least what I think is, if you're not in those sewers, then no matter what, pretty much, no matter where you're at, you're going to get hit by this. The one possible chance of survival, maybe on a freak happenstance, would be being in those sewers.
Well, and it depends on what kind of missiles are coming your way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I almost feel like the government should be, if they're going to issue something like that, like tell you what kind of bombs are coming at you. That way, if you're informed, you know what to do.
Right.
If they aren't telling you that, then like take cover. Okay, do I go in my closet or do I actually chance it to make it to a bomb shelter across town?
Right.
They both carry risks, and you can't make an informed decision without knowing what kind of bomb is coming your way.
Yeah, I think it's also part of that. The reason why they don't care to do that is I think most civilians probably wouldn't know the difference. They just see the word bomb and do the same thing.
Well, if it's nuclear, you're supposed to see if it's the size of your thumb.
Oh yeah, that's the mushroom cloud to see if there's radiation coming your way.
Yeah.
Wow. Really terrifying stuff. I don't know what I would do if I got that order. Taking shelter is clearly terrible advice. Jack and I were just talking about that, Jordan, and where would you... What are you going to do? Yeah. Get in the sewers and risk it collapsing on you, or...
I'd go to a Chilean mine. Those are very sturdy.
I don't know how you're going to make it to one, but all right. I think that is a solid idea. I think you would be safe in there.
Yeah. I'd hop in my car and go as fast as I could to get to the ocean and then jump in the ocean. I don't know, maybe.
Then you gotta deal with radioactive sharks.
And now, if they're bombing the ocean, you're just gonna immediately be caught up in the tsunami.
Well, I guess that would be a tactic. Like, what's the point of bombing the ocean? That's not gonna hit. But I guess it could cause a tsunami. I guess
yeah, they could easily wipe out Hawaii by just dropping a bomb offshore.
Yeah.
And letting the tsunami do the worst of it.
That's true.
Though the tsunami would probably travel a lot farther than they were expecting.
What if they directed a bomb towards the volcano and like somehow managed to get it directly into the core of the center of the volcano?
Talking about a swish. They made a swish.
So
made a swish.
They got Michael
Randall
Jordan.
Monroe.
Just...
So Randall Monroe actually had that question posed to him in his book What If? And he just classified it as one of the weird and worrying questions that he wasn't even going to try to answer.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
That's funny.
Basically, like, yeah, that's probably somewhat close to a doomsday scenario, depending on how active the volcano is. Does it actually still connect down in the earth? Are you going to shift some plates a little bit with...
Yeah.
Depending on the size of the nuclear bomb.
Completely, like, would it affect other volcanoes, like around the world, you
Seems
think?
like it would almost cause like a mass world pressure.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be the core, it would be the mantle.
Or the mantle, yeah.
The not even the mantle, I'm sorry, but anyhow, yeah, you're just worried about the magma that's going to come up. So you're talking about releasing a huge amount of CO2 into the air just by disturbing that thing, and then is it going to push plates, which isn't going to, like, things aren't going to start sliding away, but the quakes that would come of that are actually going to cause more tsunamis again, which are absolutely devastating. And our only hope would be that this was aimed at Hawaii and not the continental U.S. So I'm sorry, Hawaii.
Fuck you, Hawaii.
I'm also glad that Californians are the only ones at risk there. Speaking of the total destruction of California, have any of y'all read my fanfic before?
No?
The Texan-Canadian War?
The Texan-Canadian War.
So we've got an instance. I swear this fanfiction's coming true. Canada has just legalized witchcraft and duels again.
I know, yeah.
Makes sense. You live as close to Canada as I do, you get it. A moose, mythical beast, obviously.
Milk in a bag, total witchcraft.
Yeah, very true.
It's all
So-
witchcraft.
We've got all these clearly occult examples from Canada, and that's it's not cool for them to try to live like that and then take something that is ours. And of course, I'm talking about the 99 can case of beer. It's been around in Texas forever. Canada's now, over the holidays, they had Pabst Blue Ribbon or something. It's a huge box.
I was about to say, it's got to be like PBR or Labatt's or something.
Yeah.
Milwaukee's best, I don't know.
No, that's not Canadian beer.
Well, I know.
There's some pretty interesting pictures of people using it as like weights for squatting or battering rams or all kinds of stuff
Or
going on there.
teaching some hosers how to keep their sticks up on the ice, eh?
Probably. Now, in my fan fiction, Trump's America is all wiped out. California kind of goes at war with DC, and there's not much left in the middle. But of course, they're all right. They kind of said, you know what, screw you guys. We're like, why would we be a part of this? And Canada's okay. And they're fighting for the land in between. This massive amount of no man's land that now exists between the two. Canadians are the magicians, and in Texas, we're the samurai, the ninjas, the
cavalry.
Why
or
wouldn't you
whatever.
just be cowboys?
We've got open carry of swords here. It's pretty wonderful. We can be cowboys as well, but we're going for more of a fantastical setting than just old western. And I've never heard of cowboys versus witches, but I maybe I need to make a few edits in my fan
There is
fiction.
a movie about that, probably starring Vin Diesel.
But yeah, no, I'm kind of excited to see this conflict brewing. I want to see how it plays out in the real world.
I just want to say, being from the north, you guys don't stand a fucking chance against Canadian geese. Canada wins all day, every day.
Fuck that.
Those things are assholes.
It's not like they can survive down here in Texas weather.
Oh, they will.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they will. Oh, because you gotta think, Canadian magicians just make it snow. And then you guys try to drive and everybody's dead. What are you gonna do to us? Make it warm?
I like. Go ahead, Matt.
Last January, I actually took a trip to Colorado and I almost died in a blizzard in a Honda CRV. No snow tires, probably should have gotten brand new tires before we went. It was dangerous. It was terrifying. I actually had to get into oncoming traffic in the middle of nowhere. No cell service, nothing like that, on a mountain. Could only see like maybe 15 feet in front of you. The guy in front of me He's taken his sweet time going up a tall hill. And he's not speeding up. He's going like 10 miles. I get it. He wants to be safe. The problem is the moment I get on any kind of incline, I start rolling backwards, and losing speed. So I had to accelerate as much as possible while going downhill and not lose any of that speed to make it up the other side, because the next hill was just about as high as the hill I just came down. I think so, but it was just the car was not built for it at all.
Yeah.
And so I did have to swerve around him in oncoming traffic. And there were cars passing. I just couldn't see them until they were like 15 feet away. And this wasn't just me being reckless. It was literally like this came out of nowhere. We had been at a snowmobile place. There was nothing behind us. No one coming. We wouldn't be able to contact anyone. And it was like maybe 5 degrees out. All our clothes were already wet. Really, we were in a position where we were, fearing for our lives. It took me probably a full minute passing that guy, and I was going about 2 miles an hour when I got to the apex of that hill, where he passed me again, because I just couldn't pick up any speed until I started going down again.
I really want you to come up here during the winter and take a ride with me when it's snowing real bad. We can swerve it out.
I'm done driving in the snow. I've given you enough justification.
Well, how about this? You guys make it up this next week, and we got an event that goes on in Houghton Lake here, where we're going to have freestyle snowmobile trick guys going. Let's do it. You guys can go snowmobiling, too. We can go out on the ice, on the lake.
Snowmobiling was a blast. That was actually what we were doing immediately beforehand. I guess badass. We could have gotten out of the car, hiked back like 3-4 miles in that blizzard, broken in, and stolen their snowmobiles. No, we couldn't have, because they didn't keep the snowmobiles at that location. Damn it.
See? If you would have got like a Polaris, like Rocky Mountain King, you'd be...
There was no safe way for us to get out of that situation. But, you are right. Snow in Texas would kind of be our undoing.
Yeah. And Mounties.
That snow, I will tell you that the snow from that January did get me really sick, and that flu was probably worse than the one I've had this year, but a lot of that had to do with the altitude sickness. This year, though, we hear Jordan right now, he's dying of coughing.
They can hear me. I muted it.
And I, last night I coughed so hard that 4 different occasions I was coughing so hard I actually puked. So it's been bad. That's I thought my cocktail was a great idea, and then I realized, I haven't been coughing for a week like my body needed to, and so now it's all coming out. This flu is evidently pretty rough. The vaccine was only effective against 10% of the population. Now, it's not as bad as the 2017 flu or the 2015 flus yet, but it is on track to get there.
Yeah, everybody in my office at work has either had it or about to have it. They've all had their vaccines and everything. Doesn't do a damn thing. Because it was targeting the wrong strand, correct?
Well, there are 2 strains active right now, and the flu vaccine they issued, they just didn't have one for the current strain, so they gave one that targeted a different strain. It wasn't like they aimed it wrong, it was just they had nothing else to work with.
God, dude, that's nuts. And
I'm in a perpetual sneeze right now.
You got that tickle booger, get it, man?
Oh, no.
So, are y'all familiar with tickle
boogers?
You broke me. Hey, are y'all familiar with how herd immunity works? Do y'all know about the concept or anything like that?
Oh, I think I know what you're referring to. I believe so.
So the nomenclature, the etymology does come from the idea of how do you keep a herd of cows that are all together safe from a disease, or a herd of animals in general. And it turns out that by reducing... I have a cat over here that has decided for the first time today she needs all the attention. And I can't do anything without her ripping my pants. I'm sorry. Herd immunity. Is this MattCast changing into CatCast again? Is that what's going on?
My wife's favorite
no,
show.
Get out of here. Get out of here. So herd immunity is the idea that you can actually inoculate a few animals from the effects of the disease to protect a much larger percentage. So if 10% of the cows now cannot catch the flu, then that there is a certain percentage less likelihood that the initial vector would have ever caught the flu. And then they can also, if another cow catches the flu, any cow in that 10% can no longer catch it and become contagious. So you end up with a net effect that's much greater than that small amount. However, 10% is not what you want with herd immunity. You really want to get around 50-60%, and that gives you a really strong immunity across the entire herd. And that is what we do with people. When we're talking about flu vaccines, especially anything that does have the potential to be an epidemic in terms of contagions like the flu, you're looking at wanting maybe a 40% efficacy rate so that those 40% of people can never be contagious. And that really does significantly impact how many people can catch or will be exposed to the flu overall.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's actually... I was going to say, I think that's what they did with the swine flu that was going on to prevent pigs from dying. And then actually, World of Warcraft, back in the day, it was the Northrend expansion, had a quest that you had to do where you had to immunize certain fell pigs from the swine flu. And it was basically the idea behind that. Like, you immunized so many, and then all the pigs were healed.
Yeah. And it really is effective. Even if you get the vaccine and it doesn't work for you, the fact that having that many people get the vaccine means it is 40% effective, that matters. It matters a great deal.
Absolutely.
And that is why it's herd immunity that matters, not your own personal immunity. That's why people get so angry at anti-vaxxers. Now, I do think that when you're talking about vaccines against diseases that aren't like contagious, per like normal human contact, that there are arguments to be made there. But if you are in support of vaccines at all, you probably should be getting the flu vaccine, because flus are the number one killers when it comes to disease. You've got, 50,000 or more elderly dying every year, just because of what it does to their body temperature, and their own immune systems have been debilitated over the years, so they can't fight it off as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, guys, viruses, I can make a bit of a leap here. Yeah, so viruses...
For this leap, I think you might need to be a pole vaulter, but go for it.
I'm gonna try. So viruses are awful when it comes to humans, animals, or computers. And Jordan, I don't know what your face is doing right now, but I don't like it.
Excited for this leap.
I found the thumbnail. I'm so happy.
Oh crap! I forgot about that.
And viruses are part of the reason that spam can become so prevalent, because you can just hijack someone else's computer and then just piggyback off of their resources to send spam messages to other people, and then filter down the messages that are actually responded to. There is now a service called Spamnesty that is spa.mnesty.com that allows you to take any spam letters, spam emails you get, forward them to one of their addresses, and they will use their AI to fight the viruses. that segue was worthless. I don't know why I brought that back up or tried to tie it in. But they will. They will take the spam letter they just received and they will waste the spammers' time. They will respond to them. They will give them false information. They will keep a conversation going. And then they will send you a transcript of everything that happened for your bathroom reading. I think this is wonderful. And if it wasn't for Chuck being such a rat bastard, they would have been our hero this week.
So it's funny because now I think about it. I have an old email, obviously, from when I was in middle school or something, that literally is just for spam. If I ever sign up for anything that's potentially going to give me spam, I use that old email. And I still have the logins for it.
I use my Lose A Tur one.
Asshole. But I can still log into that. And yeah, no, I literally have like 13,000 emails in that thing. And it's literally almost all 100% spam. So I'm going to have a fucking field day.
That's amazing. Yeah, no. I've got 30,000 in my Hotmail account. I don't know how many of those are spam, but I mean, I'll just forward that entire box. I'll set up some forwarding to them.
Just get
and
spam
let them
to see your
sort it out
login
for me.
just give them your login.
I mean, yeah, basically. For those of you that are interested, that email address is sp@mnesty.com. So it's just a quick little, a clever little way of writing spamnesty. The @ is an A.
Calm is still calm.
And you know, I really do think that these guys they're fighting the good fight. They're doing some good work. But you know who's not doing good work out there that are betraying all of our trusts?
Are betraying or arbitrating?
Yes. It's Apple, guys. It's always Apple. Now, I know this is a little bit of old news right now, but they did recently kind of jank everyone around. Jordan, I understand you've had some experience dealing with this.
Yeah, love them. So I do phone repair. I own my own side company, phone, computer, security system. But I've done phone repair for a while. Here's how it starts with Apple. The iPhone 6 and 6S. Before they went with the 7 with the touch sensor, electronic touch or electronic push button, they were spring buttons. If you replaced a home button on an iPhone 6 or 6S, the phone, when it tried to update, would recognize it and actually lock down the phone, make it unusable. That was the last thing before all this that went on that Apple was sued over. They made it so you could replace the home buttons and keep the phone going, and the home button workers just couldn't use the fingerprint reader, right? So then Apple comes out with this, where they announced, we're putting out updates that fuck your shit up, make your old phone shitty. You want that new shit now, right?
I have a problem with this in a sense that, like, first off, y'all already know I kind of
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Lord Jack may actually work for a competitor of Apple, so or in some way be affiliated with the competitor of Apple. So.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just our full disclosure. Y'all don't need any more specifics. But.
I am not biased, though. I promise you. I have my reasons for hating Apple, and it's nothing to do with where I work. But anyway,
he works for Yahoo.
Shut the fuck up. No, my I work for eBay. No, I'm just kidding. My biggest problem with Apple is, or with this, at least this situation right here, is the fact that by them announcing this, like, okay, obviously they slowed down phones to get you to say, hey, this phone's stupid and slow. I need the newer and better one. Now, by admitting it, that just kind of shows the true colors of the company. I feel like that's going to, or at least it should, hurdle the company in sales. Like, just completely, like, drop so many people. Like, if this company's going to do this, then I don't trust this company anymore. But then again, you know, sheeple and stuff. So
here's the reason why it's not going to affect them at all, besides the fines of being sued, is because like I have an Apple phone. The reason I have an Apple phone is because I know how much the screens cost me if I break my screen. It's super cheap to repair. I have like 3 backup Samsungs as well, but I switch between my phones as I feel. I just use this as my primary, so if I drop it at work, cheap screen.
Right.
Most people go iPhone 6, iPhone 7, iPhone 8 or X, whichever you got at the time. They just buy every fucking year. That's ridiculous.
It's the only way you can get that ecosystem, and people aren't going to change their ecosystem for anything. I mean, not for something this trivial. In fact, Apple turned it around and, they said, oh, well, even if your phone's out of warranty, we'll replace your battery for $30. That's a fucking steal.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. They were causing the batteries to drain faster. Actually, so what I've seen from repairing phones, it wasn't even causing batteries to drain faster. It seemed like it was causing batteries to wear out. Because usually once an iPhone is about 3 generations old, you get battery bloat, where a lot of times it'll bend the screen, crack it, bend your body frame. And I've replaced so many batteries for that. Hence the lithium-ion burns on my hands.
Jesus Christ.
So let's set the record straight on a couple of issues here, just so that we aren't deviating in the technicalities. But basically, what was happening is battery was not checking for the wear and tear on. Apple was not checking for the wear and tear on the battery. They were just looking at the phone's age and automatically throttling the phone to have less performance because they assumed the normal wear and tear on the battery had already happened, and they didn't want the battery to bulge or explode or anything like that. Clearly, that wasn't working out, especially with the way a lot of people treat their phone batteries. If you're unaware, the best thing that this gets real technical, we're not going to make it technical. The best thing you can do as a user for your phone is don't let it drain all the way down. Maybe do that once every 6 months because it'll calibrate the battery. But other than that, don't let it get below 15%. Keep it charged. Keep it on the charger as much as possible because it's not realistic to keep it at 40% at all times and you need it to be available. But the less that battery is draining, it loses the most overall capacity between 80% and 100%, or below 15%. But your battery really only has about 200 to 300 charge cycles on it, and that is the heart of this matter.
Or here's your other way: rather than listening to what Matt said and doing some crazy, hard, difficult thing like that, learn to solder on an ICU chip. Replace that ICU chip. Good to go.
Soldering is not that hard, so
micro soldering gets a little bit pain in the ass.
That's
micro
true.
soldering
that's a lot different.
Basically, there are plenty of people out there that have said, yeah, I could do it. I'm never going to do it.
Yeah, I actually regret knowing how to do it because people ask me to now, and I'm like, I would rather shove this soldering iron through your motherboard and be like, something happened. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would never do that. I would just tell them, no, I got the shake on my hand. I'm sorry, it's not happening.
I got the case of the shakes.
So in Apple's defense, there was a reason for it, and it does look like their batteries may have been a little bit unreliable or maybe it was the fact that the batteries couldn't be accessed and were just completely enclosed. This is also not really a good thing, that you had to have an Apple technician really work on it within warranty, and they would only approve you under certain conditions, and then out of warranty they affect the performance on your phone. It does become kind of dirty, and it seems like they did not set up anything like a good policy.
And there's a big right to work case going, or right to repair case going against Apple too. Because you can't become, I can't go and become an Apple technician, and so you can keep warranty outside of, if I repaired it. And if you ever see a place say, or Apple guaranteed or Apple trained, it's not true. The only place that keeps warranty on your Apple products, if they work on it, is Apple.
Apple, yeah.
Geek Squad does as well. But Geek Squad does as well.
Oh yeah, because they're they have an affiliation with Apple for that, right?
They generally can't do anything in store though. So, and they do have Apple employees actually walking around Best Buy. So,
okay.
If they've got that Apple shirt on, they're Apple employees. They're not Best Buy employees.
Okay.
But yeah. So Apple, I think we can all agree we're a bunch of Android lovers, and Apple sucks. I'm kidding. Jordan just said he has an iPhone earlier, and I'm not that big of a fan of Google myself. So, well, guys, other than that, do y'all have any wins?
Well, before we get to wins, I think we have something else that I want us to introduce or reintroduce, and that would be Jordan's Love Corner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like a win in my book.
So it's been a while, ladies. Let me bring you over on to Jordan's Love Corner, where the shades are pulled and the candles are lit. What do we talk about first? So I've got 3 today. Do you talk about a confused young man, silverware, or the greatest 1990s toy of all time?
Silverware. All right. So we're pulling this. Oh, this one hits home with Jack. This one's out of Round Rock. Before you continue, I just want to make the disclosure that this is all was it misconnections on Craigslist or
casual encounters?
Casual encounters. Okay.
Yeah. So I have a fascination with looking at these. I tried to avoid the pictures once. Sometimes I see a big penis. Sometimes a very big penis.
It makes you really happy, doesn't it?
It does. I love it. But so this
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there truly isn't. Except for the girl laying in our bed. But so this one's out of Round Rock.
Did you say the girl and friend in our bed?
No, the girl in our bed, but mine in her bed.
Okay.
But this one's out of Round Rock, where I used to work at a company that rhymes with Dell. Yeah. And the title is classic. Spooning leads to forking. And let's go from here. But don't worry, I use condiments. Oh shit! Looking for some good NSA face sitting. If you like your kitty licked, salad tossed, and are capable of multiple orgasms, hit me up. I can host. I'm 45 with total dad bod, and I don't discriminate on race, age, weight, or status. I just love eating pussy and getting women off. I won't even fuck you unless you beg for it.
You know, I can't get Chef out of my head from South Park.
Right? But the thing that weirds me out is he, like, makes puns, and then he's like, total dad bod. Like, I never would have guessed dad joke master of the year.
I think my favorite thing about this is the fact that he mentions right at the get-go, like, he has condiments. But there's nothing else about, like, food obsession with this. It's just, there's nothing else to do with food, but it's just like, I got tomatoes.
Well, salad tossing. Salad tossing, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He's got the nice salad tongs, and
I would laugh though, like
he's not going to eat a salad. He has a dad bod.
He probably first text he got, it was like,
it doesn't have to be for
it was
him.
Nice of you to catch up.
Oh. And when did Chuck embody you, Jordan? What happened?
It's buying the house and getting a puppy and
he wasn't making those jokes while you weren't on the show.
Oof.
I'm beginning to think it's all you.
Maybe Chuck and I just need to sit down and have a pun cast or something.
Please do. Let's separate that from the main show.
Oh God! You're gonna get Matt Gallagher in on it too.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
Let's talk about some pogs. I'm very curious about pogs.
Love pogs.
So, by the way,
sweetest poison slammer.
I had no idea what a pog was, and I said that in my house. I didn't either. And a person that lives with me decided to yell, "Fat ass white girl." He didn't say it like he was of an ethnic background, though, even as I did. But pogs, slammers, what are the cardboards? They're just called the Pog, right?
Right, yeah, the Pogs.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, fucking sweet shit. But he's looking for a Pog. A Pog. This guy's crazy. He's going to only have one Pog and bet it all on a pile. Shit. For real. That's like racing for pinks, man. But if you know what it is and it's you, by all means, send me a message. I'm AA. I don't Alcoholic Anonymous. He is Alcoholics Anonymous. And I live alone. Pick for pick. No ifs, ands, or but about it. It's Friday afternoon. Put what time it is in the subject when you reply. I don't think he wants to get laid. I think he doesn't own a watch.
Maybe he's actually looking for someone with the slammer. Because he doesn't mention who's the slammer in this at all.
Right.
And we need to help this guy out. Where is he located?
He is in WR, Macon, probably Tennessee or Mississippi or something like that. I was looking at
all right, areas. So the MattCast shout out for anyone in the Macon area. We got a man who has Pog singular. He clearly needs a slammer, and he may need some more Pogs just to round off that set.
He may need more Pog.
Let's help him out. Come on.
I love the idea of this being like just some sober guy. Just like, I have no friends. Come over. Play Pogs.
But it's actually a creepy dude being like, I love fat-ass white women.
Yeah.
We don't know that. I mean, he may just misunderstand Craigslist. There are people that wouldn't understand.
He got on. He's like, casual encounters. Hopefully people want to play some games.
Absolutely.
A lot of people ask about Pogs. I didn't know it was coming back.
I mean, maybe he just doesn't understand how to spell the word Pog because he thinks the way you spell dog is D-A-W-G. So Pog obviously has to be P-A-W-G.
And with all the white girls on Tumblr that spell God, G-A-W-D.
W-D. Yeah, I mean, it's an easy mistake to happen.
Yeah.
Matt's face. I almost want that to be the thumbnail.
Should we go to the last one here? This one's
Yeah, let's get
This one is a thrill ride. This is in Fort Valley. Okay. God, this is... Alright, hold on to your seats and keep your butt close, because this guy's is off of it. Wait, this is redneck voice one, right?
Yeah?
Well, hey there. I'd just like to say, I am straight but want to try some cock. Just straight white guy right here. 7 inches cut. Disease free. That cow didn't give me anything. I'm straight but have been wanting to try something new. Looking to get sucked, and if things go well, I want my ass fucked for the first time. If you are mobile and down to play in your car at a safe place, I know about them. Reply with stats including location and cock pick. Tonight only, so come on and be my first. The thing that one's just weird because, like, no girl is cool with losing their virginity in the car, but he's totally like, well, it's how my cousin lost hers. I'll be cool with losing mine. Right there.
I mean, this quickly escalates. It goes from, hey, I'm straight, but, which you know that's kind of like the, I'm not racist, but.
Yeah.
You haven't come to terms with something, you haven't evaluated your life, right? And he really goes around to say, he goes from, I want my DS,
yeah, to I want my AF'd.
And if it goes right, yeah, come on, give it all to me.
But it wasn't even, like, that's the thing. I don't know.
I'm a vegan and I want some steak.
It's one thing if you want to take the view that, like, if you were looking for a transsexual or something like that, yeah, no, absolutely, I can get behind that.
There is
if
that
you're
option
saying, like,
in there, and this
sexuality,
is male for male.
Yeah, right. No, he's choosing male for male. Not this isn't just a mild curiosity. It's like, hey, no, I want someone who absolutely identifies as a male to, if things go my way, go ahead and give it to me.
He's like, I ain't one of them queers, but I'll let you put it deep inside of me and call me your cousin. Or, like,
what I'm saying is, it comes across as very, very homophobic. That entire post does.
No, it really
not a
does.
big fan of it.
No,
I also kind of like laughing at him and making fun of him for it.
Me too. Like, yeah, that's just I don't get the thought behind that. Like,
Well, it's kind of a lot of the same thing that I deal with living here in Austin. Like the biggest hypocritical thing I deal with all the time is, hey, I'm a vegan, but I'm going to eat a steak. Same thing. Come on.
Well, I mean, in that case, it's...
well, that is true.
You're not
he says he doesn't eat
imposing
meat,
on
but he
someone.
wants to eat some meat.
Oh, God.
Wait, what's his meat? Eaten? I don't know.
God. All right. So, do we have any wins this week? There were. I do want to say I want to apologize. We don't have any Stranger Than Fiction going on. We did substitute Jordan's Love Corner for that, and I hope everyone enjoyed. Jack, do you have a win this week for me?
I have kind of like a weird, obscure win, and that win is learning from your mistakes. Because last night...
I'm worried you keep on looking down at your crotch as you say this.
No, I'm looking at my hands. Sorry.
Okay.
There was almost like maybe scratching, like, is this a crotch rot story that's about to happen?
No, so I'm looking at my hands, and it has to do with this story. So last night, I tried to use some super glue to glue something to my laptop cooler because it rattles and it's really annoying. So I was trying to put something in the way, super glue it so it kind of softens the rattle sound. I didn't know that when you put super glue on anything cloth or foam,
Don't put super glue on cotton. Ever.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So instantly, the piece of cotton glued to my hand, and my hand pretty much felt like it was catching fire. I did not know this was a thing. So, I'm not done. So further, I decided to say fuck it and just glue the metal grate on the top of my laptop cooler to one of the pugs sitting up to help support it so it'd stop rattling. There was a hole in the bottom of that. So while I had the laptop cooler on my lap, glue came through, landed on my sweatpants, and my leg caught fire. I fucking hate super glue. And I'm still peeling fucking super glue off of my hands, and I think I have like a small tiny burn on my thumb. Like, I had no idea this was a thing. I screamed for my wife. I was like, babe, help me. I don't think I know how to super glue. She just hear, hold on. I was like, I don't remember super glue feeling like lava. So, learn from your mistakes. That's my win.
I'm crying. I'm tearing up.
It was awful, dude. I had no idea.
That's my win. That's my new win.
Oh my god,
Jordan.
it sucked.
Oh, Jordan, what do you got for us?
Let's see if I can. Brody, come here. Come here.
It looks like Jordan is off screen. He's bending over, showing off for us a little bit, and he is gathering and collecting something to show.
Win.
Oh,
Win.
Brody doggy.
That there is the most adorable doggo in a sweater right now. Is that a collie?
He is golden retriever and Rottweiler.
That's awesome.
Only thing Rottweiler about him is his color.
Yeah.
That is a fascinating mix. Like, yeah, it definitely looks like a golden retriever, except not colored like one at all.
Yeah.
And now he's going back to sleep.
He's also huge at 6 months old. That's
50 pounds, 6
really
months
awesome.
old. He's a monster.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow. So, wins. Okay, how do I want to do this? There was something immediately before this show that really distracted me called Anime War. Never heard of this, but I got to see Saitama from One Punch Man and Beerus from Dragon Ball Super, the God of Destruction, fighting a Majin Buu that looked like it had absorbed a Beerus.
Yeah.
And it immediately just kind of made me wonder, what is this? I kept watching. I saw Natsu from Fairy Tail. I saw Ichigo from Bleach. And this is all like fully animated. Now, maybe it's not the highest quality renders of some of the scenes, but somebody independently put together a team and said, hey, let's make fan-based anime. Let's make crossover universes, and let's really produce this. And it's really cool. It's called Anime War. I would definitely recommend checking it out if you've never seen it before.
So,
go ahead.
You called it fan-based anime, right?
Yeah.
I don't really watch anime. I used to. You watch DBZ. Used to watch which is the one with the dude that his special power was he shot blue beams.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho. That one's
Yu Yu Hakusho. Yeah, I used to watch it. I don't know. My love of it, I guess, mostly fell away. But isn't all anime just fucking fan base anymore? Anyways, like just.
Well, so I'm not sure how this guy actually did it. He's Patreon funded, and he doesn't necessarily have the licenses for anything.
Huh.
Imagine, like, you've got the Dragon Ball abridged and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged stuff. Imagine a production kind of like that, just an independent team saying, hey, let's take something we really like. Except these guys are actually animating new scenes, and they're putting together what seems to be an actual story and an actual universe lore.
Yeah, but with across multiple platforms of a bunch of different characters and stuff from different animes. It's really interesting.
It seems to be, and I can't give my full approval on it yet, but it definitely wowed me a little bit seeing that, and I'm like, someone put money into this. Like, there's clearly a lot of money going into this. Again, quality is not quite there yet, but if you've got a small team, that's, it was better than I would have expected.
Yeah, I would say, like, even that, I mean, even though you said the quality is not all there yet, that doesn't go to mean that the quality is even bad, though. The quality wasn't bad at all.
No.
I mean...
a lot of it looks like a TV airing of an anime, where a lot of the big scenes are not as high quality as you would expect, and that does upset people from time to time, but it's not actually that big of a deal. You can, if you're not like just zooming in on it and like really trying to focus on it, you're not going to notice most of it.
Right.
And it's one of the reasons that people say, oh, buy the DVD box set or whatever, the Blu-ray box set, so that you can get the fully mastered versions of all of the entire episode. Anyway, it looks good. It looks like, it's a little bit amateurish, but it still looks really good, and it sucked me in for like 10 minutes when I needed to be prepping for this show, so I apologize. Blame them. Okay, I didn't think I'd be going on that long on that topic.
Yeah, I was just getting yelled at. I thought you guys were going to be done a while ago. Oh my god. I'll be with you.
Next pick, Neo. There is a book I picked up last night, and I know this sounds off topic, but it goes over flow. And I want to tease that book because I think we're going to talk about it next week. It's the idea of using something, maybe MDMA, maybe acid, maybe meditation, maybe video games, maybe electrostatic direct current stimulation.
Maybe Facebook.
To achieve a state of higher awareness, focus, learning, and efficiency. And Neo really has made me think about that a lot this week, because Neo kind of makes Dark Souls look very easy, at least in my opinion. This game I'm like 20 hours in. I've been reading books while playing it, but 20 hours in, I'm on like the third mission. I keep dying. I have died like 500 times at a bare minimum. And if you want a hard game, pick up Neo. Also, like, I'm just reading online that some people are like, yeah, this game's super hard. It's harder than Dark Souls. It took me I died like 5 times on that boss, and I'm like, what is wrong with people? And so I'm just relating that to the fact that these people clearly have achieved this kind of a flow and a focus with these games to where even though there's a ton going on, they can just kind of sink into a state of relaxation and still learn it and pick it up a lot more efficiently than I can. So Neo, and the book is called Stealing Fire. We're going to be talking about that next week. Other than that, I'll save everything, my other pick, till next week. Guys, did y'all have anything else? Well, hey, I wanted to thank everyone for listening today. I had a great time. If y'all want to write us, loseaturn.com, you can find our contact information on there. If you want to just get in contact in general, leave us a comment on Facebook or YouTube. That's the best way to handle it. Thank y'all so much, everyone.
Still reach out to me. I love you.
Thank y'all so much, everyone. Y'all take care.
Bye.